When we think back to our school days, there's this one subject that made all of us frustrated: math. For many students, math feels like an impossible puzzle full of confusing formulas and numbers that never seem to add up. Math has this reputation of being the least favorite subject in school. But what if I tell you it didn't happen that way? What if math could be something that's not only understood but enjoyed? Today we are going to hear from someone who is making that shift happen. Miss Tashi Dolma is a passionate math teacher. Not only does she teach in the classroom, but she also takes an online crash course helping students from all walks of life conquer their fear of numbers. I'm excited to have her on my podcast. She's here to talk about her journey, the methods she used, the tactics she followed, and everything that revolves around math. Let's get started. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Shi. I want to start off by saying I always wanted to have you on my channel. I wanted to interview you because I find you as a very inspiring person. Plus, you love math. I mean, I hated math as a subject when we were in school, but and I'm sure there are a lot of students who still hate math, or at least their least favorite subject is math. But you being a math teacher, I want to ask you if you can share your journey as a math teacher and what inspired you to become a math teacher.
Okay, so first and foremost, thank you, Kinzum, for inviting me to your podcast. It's my honor to be here. So my journey towards being a mathematics teacher, right? It's nothing, so fascinated as such. But I would say that ever since when I was a young, right, I always had that. What is that mentality I always have this growth mindset to learn something new, right? So that is something that has pushed me towards learning the subject. And I also do know that, when my friends were there at that point of time, right, so everybody had that narrative in their mind that math is something that it is only meant for the smart kids, so like that. So I felt like somehow if it is not anyone, it has to be me to go through that and challenge that. So that, and also one more thing was that I've always set my mind that I'm going to be the educator. But at that point of time, I wasn't really sure like which subject to take up, because I was kind of like, jack of all but the master of none. So that was the situation back then. And somehow, since I felt the need for a good teacher, I'm not criticizing others that they were not a good teacher, but then at the same time I always had this thing that why can't we do certain things in that way, like that, like why can't we have to know about these applications of the mathematics in our daily life, so that would make us more interested towards that subject. So I've always had that things in my mind, which is why here I am, and as a math teacher. Yes.
Great. So, on that note, I want to continue to ask like a question that is more related to what you just answered. So, there are a certain section of students who find math intimidating. So, from in your experience, what do you think are some common misconceptions that students have in terms of math as a subject?
Yeah, so as I've told before, also, right? Like many students, not only just the students, many of the elders also, right? Even these days, they have this narrative that math is something that it's not everybody's cup of tea, like that,
Right.
and it has created sort of like stigma. I feel that students have that fear, unnecessary fear, without even trying to put some efforts and towards knowing the subjects. And that attitude is something that has affected because of others perspectives. I'll call that as a stigma. So mathematics is something, it's actually a skill, that where students cannot understand each concept with just by going through and juggling through those the notes as such. So it is actually it's a skill that needs lots of practice. So
Right.
like, and then most of the time I think that those who says that math is something which is very difficult, I feel that they probably never had right teacher to teach mathematics. So
Right.
yeah, so that's how I feel. And it is, as I said, it is a skill, right? It needs lots of practice. And also to master the math concept, right, one has to go through the mastery in the foundational concept. So that plays a very important role in that. So if once they lose the track of that, the next level would be very difficult for the
Right.
students. So this is why many a times they don't give lots of importance to the basics, and they just jump over the higher level. So which I feel that is why, maybe because of that, they find it sort of challenging for them.
Yeah, right. Because I remember when we were kids, I would love doing math problems. Like I can like it was so easy for me to do all those addition, subtraction, multiplication, and everything. But right when we shift to class 6, 7, then everything changes. You have a lot of formulas, and I think at that point of time, we feel like the majority of students feel like, okay, now math is getting harder. It's not, like you said, it's not our cup of tea. So I'm sure there are still students who feels uh, that kind of situation. And
Yes.
you already answered my question, but I still want to dig deeper into this particular question as to how, like, what we already talked about the challenge, like what misconceptions that students have. But I want to know, apart from like the regular practice, what other teaching concepts, teaching methods should teacher use so that their students doesn't get afraid of math and actually be interested, and when they reach certain higher classes they would want to take math.
Yeah, so to answer this, I would like to divide it into two sections. That is, the first thing is now, as you have experienced, right? Like from fifth grade to sixth grade, you had lots of challenges and struggles with respect to maths, right? So now, even for me as well, when I was at that stage, right, same as yours, I also faced a lot of problems in that. So, which is why I kind of felt that I need some external support, to follow up and learn the concepts. Now, many a times, one more thing is, now since we have studied in a Tibetan school, right? Now, one thing that we need to understand is the transitional stage, transition. So that is that for till fifth grade, we learned in a Tibetan medium, right? That is one thing. That is, and the second thing is, and at sixth grade, we have to, start learning each and everything in the English, right? So science, mathematics, all of those. So one thing is the transition of the language that is taking place, right? So which is why itself makes a bit of challenging for the students. That is one thing. And the second thing is that as you have asked, like what strategies to we can make to the students learn the mathematics concept in a greater way. So
Yeah.
one thing is that, so from my online crash course, from my experience, I feel that students tends to learn more effective when we use the gamified teaching and learning tools. For example, now like there is a website called a playground. So in that playground, there are lots of games, but it is all with respect to the mathematics concept. So this is something that I use, and this is something that students also enjoy. And at the same time, I can also make a use of the technology. Now these days, internet, it is easily, everything is easily available, right? So one thing is that quizzes for the playground, and we can also use, there is a quizzes app where I can track like how they are doing it, and which questions they have to, like how many seconds, and all of those I can easily track, and then we can also discuss. So it can be act as a learning tool as well as an assessment tool for them. So like yeah, so I put more focus on giving the practice, and in the same way, like including technology in the teaching and learning process is definitely helpful and effective.
I mean, that's amazing. I try to do that as well when I take my online classes. So, I mean, Tashi and I, we know each other from way back. We were in same school,
Yes.
same village, and I know how hardworking Tashi was and still is. She has always been the topper of her class. So like, you are actually someone, as I said in my intro, like I always get inspired by how much time you are giving to your studies. And on that note, like we were students of Tibetan school, but right now you teach at a school based in Bangalore. So
Yes.
you like do you face any challenges in terms of getting along with your students because they are like culturally they are different, they're not
Yes.
Tibetan. So like can you share your point on that?
So, with respect to teaching, I did not face, sort of challenges as such. But yeah, one thing is that, so when I first joined, right, it was actually, a Bangalore-based school, right, where my audience, where my students are all Indians. So one thing was that I was not used to the names, right? So we have our, Tenzin,
Right,
Tsering, all
right,
those names, but
right.
then for me it was like very challenging to remember their names within like 1 week, but then somehow I had to practice, and sometimes when I call certain names my pronunciation would be different. So which is why sort of like challenging is what I faced. But then with respect to my teaching, I did not face more of a problems or things like that. Yeah, so where I work, actually we have a very nice, and where all the facilities and all the students discipline and everything is well arranged. So for me it was not really challenging, apart from learning their names.
So, Miss Tashi, you also take online math crash course. So I want to know who is it for and what are the courses included in that math crash course. And I want to know everything that goes in and beyond your online math courses that you give.
Okay, so first let me introduce about my platform actually. So it is Tara Education, and yes, so through that I usually for last year, right, starting from last year, I have proposed a project, an online based project, as well as a school, summer vacation project as well. So now I will speak about the online course.
Yeah.
Okay. So now
Yes.
for like every year, like every summer vacation they have, right? I'll be proposing a crash course. Now, last year when I proposed the project, online project, it was meant only for the middle school, where like grade 6, 7, and 8. So as I myself have experienced, right, that the transition stage from 5th grade to 6th grade is something that is very challenging, is what I have faced. So which is why I thought of focusing more in that middle school range, right? So for that reason, like last year I've started the online course, and there were about like 30 students who joined. Now not only just so the price, I mean, like, sorry, so the platform, the online crash course is actually to make them build their foundational concepts, as well as be more confident in the next level that they face later on. So it was it was for that. Now, one more thing, other than focusing only on the syllabus based, I have also for just maybe for like 2 or 3 days, where I have taught them a Vedic tricks. So Vedic math is something that was actually very new for me when I, first joined into my teaching career. So, and I got to learn from other colleagues, and which is why I felt, since I'm a very, passionate learner, so I felt there's like something that I should also do, right? And so that I can help my community students. So through that, I not only focus on those foundations, but also, some tricks, so which will, engage them in their learning. Yes.
You mentioned Vedic concept. Can you please elaborate that for us?
Yeah, so actually, Vedic maths, yeah, so basically those tricks, right? It is from, the origin is from India itself. Like ancient Indian mathematician, they have practiced those Vedic tricks. So to tell you the fact, I'm also not very, fast in that field, but yeah, from my end, I am still learning that, even though I know the certain tricks and concept, but it requires me to practice a lot so that I will be, excelled in that field, and I can tell those, the answers right away. So but then it's still, I'm still into that practicing mode. So yes, but the concepts and everything I have learned so far, and also I have proposed one Vedic session for every Sunday course like that, wherein I also give certificates, like e-certificates, for my students who successfully complete the Vedic maths sessions. And yeah, so like one more thing that I would like to talk about, where which I've experienced from my online crash course, was that I was actually kind of very passionate, and sort of things, and I had that narrative that the students is also going to be like how I have my students right here, at the school. But to be very honest, I felt like kind of, they are very passive, and they're not very expressive, so which is why I had to, take up as a challenge,
Yeah,
so it was like that sort of scenario. But then anyways, over the time, and then I also understand the fact that it was something new to them,
right, right.
learning online face to face. And then there were certain students who were like very camera shy, they don't want to come on camera, so like that. So that was there. But then even then, I really hope that like they have, from my experience, and my gut feeling tells me that they really have learned, and certain skills from that as well, like knowing about the online games where they can invite their friends and play those sort of games, rather
Right.
than like wasting their time on other sort of games like that.
So are you planning to take the crash course next year as well, like in 2025 during
Yeah.
summer vacation? And do
Yeah.
you have any specific location where you do that, or it's only online?
So now, due to like geographical constraints, right, I cannot be everywhere at the same time,
Right,
right?
right,
So which is why, like, to the location where I have to go, so there I tried best my I try to, you know communicate with the schools and other schools. So wherever I'm going for as a part of my vacation, there I propose those courses
right.
offline. But to a certain place where I'm not able to, relocate or anything like that, I for that purpose, I'm proposing the online courses for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like doing it online helps a lot of students all over, because I do that and I know how people from everywhere feels about it, because like everyone prefers to have like these kind of classes in person, but when you don't have that accessibility, online makes it like much more convenient. I know that from my experience, and I like you doing the same thing as like it's amazing. And my next I want to ask you, we talked about how parents could be sometimes. Like, I understand how Tibetan parents are, like they want the best for their children, but sometimes they tend to get lost as to how they can support their children in terms of education. So I want to ask you, what do you think are the ways in which our Tibetan parents can help or motivate their children's math learning journey at home?
Okay, so the first thing is that I understand that not all parents are educated, right? And not everyone can help their child, in the academics part, right? But other than that, what they can do from their end is that, they can always motivate their child to do more, right, in a a proper way, not in a ways where we
Yeah,
had to go through that. I
yeah,
hope
right,
you
right,
understand,
right.
right?
I
And
know, I
so
know.
the yes, so the parents also has to understand that the generation is different, right? So that itself, that if that understanding is there, so the student has to understand that now one thing is that for an academic part, that is one thing, and the second of all, so now since they cannot directly help them in academics, but some sort of activities like budgeting or managing their finances and all of those now. And yeah, also they can motivate them, encourage them to take the lead and certain responsibilities when it comes to that household budgeting stuffs and all of those, so they can do that through that. Now those are the daily basis that we need maths, right? So they so I feel that they also will be kind of practicing those additions, subtractions, multiplications, and all of those at home.
Let's go, Miss Tashi. So, what advice would you give to other math teachers who sometimes face challenges or some sort of problem making math concepts interesting in classroom? Because I know there would be times where teachers would get frustrated, or like they doesn't know how to continue from that stage where the concepts get tougher and tougher. So, what would you say to such teachers and problems?
So, my advice for a teacher is that we need to be very patient and we need to be very empathetic, and also we have to understand the fact that not all students learn at this same pace, right? And every individual is unique, every individual learns at a different pace, so we need to have now one more thing is that we possibly cannot have differentiated instructions to be practiced in a classroom setup, right? But knowing the fact that everybody learns at a different pace and all of those we need to consider. But then, so one thing is that from my end, I emphasize on the concept. So no matter what, no matter how long it takes, so the student has to learn the concept, and then later on the practice depends on how long they do and how much they can do from their end,
I
right?
mean, that is so true. To be a teacher means a lot of things. Like your subject knowledge is like the first thing that you need to have. Plus, there are a lot of other attributes, like you mentioned, like a teacher need to have all these things to be able to make their class interesting. So, like what you just advised for teacher is great. So, following the same pattern, I wanna ask if you have any advice for the school going students, especially in terms of the problems or like the difficulties that they face in math.
I mean, yes. So now one thing is that I would like to tell them is that you have to try no matter what, and you also need to have the growth mindset to learn something new. That curiosity is something that that will take you forward, right, in your life. And second thing is that you also need to have a patience, because anyway math is actually for what is that, the stigma around us as making some math as something that is very difficult and something which is very different, like that. So no matter what others says or what others do, you only have to look forward and go with it. So just go with the flow is what I would like to give that advice, and never lose hope.
So we are on to our last question, Ms. Tashi. So before we go, I want to ask something that is more personal to you. Looking ahead, what does Tara education look like in the future? What are your goals? How do you see yourself do in terms of your online math crash courses and things that would help our talent students, especially to improve their math?
Okay, so looking ahead, I'm planning on expanding the Tara, the crash course to a broader audience. That is one thing wherein, students, especially our Tibetan community students, right, wherein they would get into, learn the maths in a, every possible way, wherein I'll be, focusing on, catering to the different needs of the students, and yeah, so be, sort of effective in whatever they do. So now, not just focusing based on the academic part, but also, certain guidance for them. Yes.
I wish you the best of luck. I know you will do great in your life because, as I said, you are very hardworking. And because I wanted to do this interview or podcast with you from a very long time because I know you and I know how much you love math and I know that you have this passion. So I really want to see you get to that point where like many people, like more and more people will know about para education. And for people listening to this podcast out there, if your child kid face any problem in their math, Miss Tashi is here for you all. As she said, she takes online and sometimes offline courses during their summer vacation. So I think she is someone you guys need to follow on Instagram and get in touch with her if you want your kids' math to improve in a way.
Yes, so adding to that, I also do take personal one-to-one session for students in the evening from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So for now, the slot is already booked. So there is no way I can accommodate for that duration of time. But and later you can always approach through the IG account.
I'll leave her personal and Tara Education's Instagram handle in my description. If you guys want to follow, I mean, I would suggest you to follow but ultimately it's your choice. If you want to do that, I'll leave the links in my description. This was amazing, Miss Tashi. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
to.
you so much for having me to your podcast. Thank you, Kinzomla, for this
You're most welcome.
opportunity.
It has been amazing. And any last words you want to say before we end this podcast?
So yes, whoever is watching the podcast, right? I like you might be either a student or a parent or maybe elder brother or sister, right? So always from your end, I would like to tell you all that to create a positive learning environment for your brother sisters, and if you motivate them and seek guidance in case if your child is facing challenges with respect to the academics or with respect to any other factors, right? So yeah, so we need to be supportive in all the possible ways. So that's all from my end.
Last, so Mr. Shi, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kinzumla.